think we're live.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Whenever we start this thing, welcome to 1 Million Cups, by the way. My name is Brody Mueller. I will be your host here. The woman above me is Katie Washnock, and she is my co-host. Whenever we start this, it's like a loading bar, and then I have Katie and Kyle telling me, "Oh, we're live. We're live now." So that's why it's always so awkward. But
I
good
cheat
morning,
because I get a little thing that tells us where I get the loading bar. Sorry. Joke's on you.
I know. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We're very happy to have you here this morning. Lots and lots of stuff going on in the Hub City today. So we are very excited. Let's see. Let's start right out. Haggerty's. Katie, what do you know about Haggerty? You're from the Rapid City area.
Yes. Us West Riverites. I go both ways, west and east. But us West Riverites are very proud of our Haggertys. Next to, the good old Ingalls music, God bless them, miss them, Taylors. They're like a major player in music in the state of South Dakota, and they're here in Aberdeen, which is so exciting. We're excited to welcome them. We are courting them, hopefully bringing them to your 1 Million Cup stage soon. But they're going to change the game. It has been a very long time, a couple years now since you could test play a guitar before you bought it. So, we love any small business that's going to come and take away from internet commerce here in Aberdeen. So if you are in the market for whether it be, music, I believe that they're going to do some music lessons, things like that too, but instruments, instrument accessories, whether it's cables or music stands, things like that, they can help you out with all of that. And they went in right next to Production Monkeys.
I was talking with Mayor Travis Shoneman of Production Monkeys at the groundbreaking on Friday for the Belchhouse Plaza. He said that it's 30 days from conception to open. They're actually shooting a documentary about it because it's just been so fast. And so the owner is still managing his store in Rapid, but is trying to open this one as well. And it's just breakneck pace. So they want to get it done. The photos look great from inside. So that's an exciting thing.
I love that we live in a community that can happen. Like you can have this idea and bring your business to life in 30 days.
Boom.
That's amazing.
Aberdeen, changing again. There were lots of great videos and pictures from the mall yesterday. So apparently they are redoing some of them. Do you want to come on, producer Kyle, and talk about this?
Yeah, it looks like they're putting some fresh asphalt in one or two of the potholes that are on display at the mall. So it's obviously a concern for all retailers that are in the mall, and it looks like we'll have some the problem will be alleviated a little bit. So the whole front entrance that will be like the main entrance to Buffalo Wild Wings looks like it was completely scraped and going to be fully re-asphalted. So I think I can speak for everybody in the mall that we're very thankful that our tires are going to be in a little better shape in June than they were in March, April, and May. So we'll try to keep it positive and just another improvement for a business that's working hard to keep Aberdeen great.
My family and I went to the mall yesterday to vote because it was a very convenient polling place, and it was so nice to not lose my toddler in one of those holes. Usual.
They do have some nice size to them. There's some proud anglers in that parking lot.
If the pool doesn't open, then maybe we could have used that.
Yeah. It's, all kidding aside, it's gonna be really nice to something as simple as driving through a parking lot shouldn't be so complicated, but it's expensive to maintain, and anyone in transportation or road service, we're built on a swamp at the end of the day, and it is complicated and expensive. So we're thankful for that.
So that is some exciting stuff. For more info on other community events, we're going to bring in Catherine Grandstrand from the Aberdeen Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Our woman in the know.
Woman in the know, finger on the pulse. What's happening in the Hub City this morning? What do you know? What's the new hot take?
Well, so I don't know if you know, but 605 Days Friday.
Oh.
Do you? It's June
Hashtag
5th.
605.
Yeah.
Say more about that.
So South Dakota is one of 12 states that has one area code for the whole state. And obviously ours is 605, so we celebrate June 5th. Here we're giving away just some fun things you can do in town. So you can go to visit aberdeensd.com/605-day and sign up for that. So that'll be a ton of fun. And to going with 605 Day, we're doing Fun Book Fridays. We're actually going to do this like throughout the summer. But we're going to be giving away our Fun Books, which is a coupon book with just tons of fun stuff throughout town, a little bit of money off here and there. And we're giving those away in conjunction with the popcorn pull-up at the Capitol Theater. So if you haven't been, there have been 2 of those already. You come, donate some money, they give you some popcorn, everybody's happy. So the first 100 people who come get popcorn will also get a Fun Book on Friday. So we'll be there handing those out. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's kind of some of the fun.
We will put the links to all that stuff in the doobly-doo here underneath. So Katie, that's more of a note to you to remember to do that. Yeah.
I'm on it.
So explain more about the 6. I mean, obviously it's March or June 5th, but what should we all be doing in observance of this statewide holiday?
Just share your favorite South Dakota places and things to do, like eat some chislic and maybe, go on a hike in a park. just celebrate South Dakota. It's a really great time to do that. It's pretty simple. So
Cool.
Shop at a local business, support a local South Dakotan.
Absolutely. Anything else going on? Any other events you want to plug or things that are still happening or coming up?
Well, just so Fun Book Friday will be at a different place every Friday this summer. Just kind of wanted to throw that out there. So follow us on social media, the CVB. We're going to be at different places. And then there's also a few things kind of starting up again. The library is doing some cool summer programs. A lot of them are virtual and digital. But if you've seen, they put up a story along the trails. So like as you walk or as you bike, you read a story, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And I don't know if everybody knows this, we have more than 30 miles of recreational trails in our city. So find those stories, read them, and just enjoy the trails too.
Hey, Catherine, isn't there some fun things that Storybookland is doing? They're doing like craft bags. Super cool.
Yeah,
Can you tell us a little bit about?
That I don't know a ton about, but yeah, that's a city thing, so that's not us.
Oh, sorry.
But
sorry.
Go out there, figure out what's going on. They do have some really fun things in the gift shop. We'll have a really fun video that we did with the gift shop. That'll be adorable. But and if you've been out there, like they're doing the rides, they have plexiglass between each of the train. Like
Wow.
they've made it really safe out there too, which is pretty cool. So.
There's baby buffalo. There's 2 or 3 baby buffalo.
Three.
Out there. 3.
Their
And
names are
4
Dakota,
baby goats.
Sky, and Ruby.
Of course they are.
We had a naming contest for them. So Dakota, Sky, and Ruby. Everybody could have voted.
3 baby buffalo, and aren't there some fawns as well?
Yeah,
No, there's 4
and
baby
then,
goats.
And
There's
4 baby
goats, you guys. 4 of them, and they're like this big.
no, there's 4 sets of twins. Oh, there's actually
Even
8
cooler.
baby goats. Yeah.
Oh,
You only got half of your baby goat in.
I've only been there to see 4. I need to go back.
So half of them are like with Old McDonald's farm, and half of them are at Annie M and Uncle Henry's farm. So
Sure. So always good stuff going on at Storybookland
Yes.
and the rest of the city. So anything else, Catherine, that
those are kind of the big things coming up. Some things have been canceled or postponed, so just kind of watch our calendar for that stuff. But I think there's still going to be a lot of fun to be had this summer. So you might have to do a little more of the legwork on it, but I think everybody can have a lot of fun this summer still. So
awesome. Well, thank you very much, Catherine. We appreciate you coming in.
Hey, really quick, we have a question on the feed already, which is great. Sherry says, good morning, guys. I'm wondering how one gets on 1 Million Cups to highlight their business. Well, Sherry, thanks for asking. You can go to our Facebook page or our website, which is 1millioncups.com/Aberdeen. and there's a little link that says apply. You click that link, you give us just some basic information, and then that puts us in contact with you and we can get you on the Cup Show.
So yeah, always looking to get hear from more people. So Katie, you mentioned that you went to the mall to vote yesterday, which is wonderful civic duty. So we're going to bring in one of the winners here from yesterday, Tiffany Langer. Councilwoman Tiffany Langer, councilperson. I don't know what you prefer, but welcome back. Oh, and running an uncontested race, but still coming in nonetheless, is Justin Reinbold, who is there. He is Justin Reinbold. Good morning. Congratulations.
Good morning.
To you as well. Justin, I guess let's start with you, as you weren't the subject of any community forums or highlighted because you ran uncontested. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what area you're in and what we can expect.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy battle in the Southwest District with just myself. My name is Justin Reinbold. I am in the Southwest District. I am a small business owner. I own a mosquito spraying company in town called Skeeter to Feeder.
Doing the Lord's work. Thank you.
Hey, I use your company.
Yes, you do.
Justin.
Good morning. Congratulations, Tiffany. Anyways, I've lived in Aberdeen my whole life. I'm married, have 2 kids and a dog. And basically, I'm hoping to bring a common sense approach to city council and listen to what people want. Hopefully we can give the voice back to the people. So
also, can we get a little 1 million cups love that we're adding 2 small business owners onto the city council?
Yes.
Like,
yay.
Yes.
Absolutely. So Justin, you are taking David Bunsness's space, right? Because he stepped down, right?
Yep.
Or is stepping down. So and then Tiffany, obviously you are taking Mike Olson's spot in your defeat. This was a long, hard campaign for you. You worked your tail off.
Your dinosaur tail.
Your dinosaur
No.
tail. Your cape is tattered. Your moon boots are all frayed.
My jean jacket smells.
Tell us about running a campaign. I think many of us maybe would have said I'd want to run for a public office, but what is a campaign like? How do you put yourself out there? I mean, in the fresh afterglow of a victory. Tell us about it.
You know, I really feel like this would have been a totally different story if it wasn't in the middle of a pandemic. I would have loved going door to door. That's like, I'm pretty sure what I was born for, just talking to people and conversing and getting excited about what's going on in Aberdeen. But unfortunately, it's not that world right now. So I got on social media right away and just started developing a website, doing what I do best, and just figuring out how to market and brand myself so people knew who I was and what I was about. And part of who I am is just a silly and fun person who wants to make people smile. And so I did that. You know, I did whatever I could in the hopes of getting them to my city council page or getting them to my website to learn about the serious and logical side of me. So, you know, if that's what it took, I had to shake my tail in a dino costume or dress up like Napoleon Dynamite. You know, I did what I could because that's marketing, and I was branding myself. So I am thrilled that I don't have to wear my jean jacket in 85-degree weather anymore, but I do love it. It served me well.
Good. Well, we will let you both get on with your day, but Tiffany from the Southeast District and Justin from Southwest. So welcome to the council, and we're very excited for new faces, new blood, and let us know how we can help you as well in your service.
Thanks, friends.
All right, we will talk to you guys later. All right, Katie, anything else before we move on to?
You don't want me to leave.
I'm trying to.
I'll kick myself out.
There we go. All right. Anything else, Katie, before we move on to our...
I mean, I will share a fun fact ahead of our presenter. I'm from my office. In looking into my backyard, I'm looking into Dina's backyard. Huh. I
It's-
love Aberdeen.
it's
I
like
just love
that.
Aberdeen.
It's great. Okay. Let's see. Have you let her know that we are?
I have. She is ready for us, I believe.
Well, then without further ado, we will bring in our guest for today, Dina Ronayne from Hardly Working Promotions. Welcome aboard, Dina. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. How are you?
We are great. So it's good to have you. I know we had you scheduled for kind of right when the world fell apart, and have rescheduled, and so we're glad we were able to make this work as we kind of continue with our digital format here.
Same here. This is great. The continuation has been strong and positive, and I'm excited to be here.
Good. Yeah, we're excited as well. Well, why don't we jump right in? Go ahead and tell us the story of Hardly Working Promotions.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I made for right before things got postponed. So I'm going to go ahead and use it.
Great.
Perfect.
All right, just a moment while I get situated. Can everyone see my screen?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if I can move this so I can actually, there we go. Aha. Slideshow, play from start. All right, everybody got this?
Yep.
Okay, the first thing I want to do is say thank you so much to 1 Million Cups. This organization has been a really big part of making me feel welcome since moving to Aberdeen. And I really appreciate the work you do. I'm happy to be here. And for everybody watching, thank you. I'm full of gratitude this morning, and I continue to be.
Thank you.
So let's begin. Once upon a time, before I moved here, I spent several years, over 17 years in Orlando, and we are very fond of starting stories this way. So the fun thing is lots of great stuff starts with a dream, and that's once upon a time. It's quintessential once upon a time. So I don't need to say that life is certainly not a fairy tale, and I am certainly not a Disney princess. So my name is Dina, and once upon a time, I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up, but that didn't stop me from dreaming. So what do we have here? Flying fish and swimming birds. So like many things all around us, people are multifaceted. They have several skills, they have several interests. And sometimes you don't think those things can merge, and then you decide that after all they can, because not everyone fits in one category. And if you feel that way, you know what, you're not alone. You're far from alone. So I guess I'm going to rephrase. It's not right to say I had no idea what I wanted to be. That's a bit misleading. I knew I wanted to be happy, and I knew a lot of the traditional roads I was seeing, just they weren't for me. So luckily I had a community very similar to Aberdeen that was supportive in my journey. I grew up in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. This community reminds me very much of Aberdeen in a lot of very nice ways. And this community emphasized the importance of the arts in their school district, which I can't express enough gratitude for. I can't stress my feelings on the importance of. So big shout out to Chelmsford, Massachusetts. I appreciate you. You're fabulous. Same way I feel about Aberdeen. So in my younger years, I'm realizing this whole journey started with a writing project and has evolved since then. And the last thing I'm going to talk about with an upcoming project is also a writing project. So everything's come full circle. I had interests that ranged from writing to pageants to a program called the Presidential Classroom, which brought high school rising seniors into DC for a week. I was scouted for modeling. I did a little bit of acting. My parents offered to send me to an art school, and I wanted nothing to do with it. I was a very pragmatic child. I didn't want to major in theater. I didn't want to go to an art school. I wanted to figure out some kind of balance. I ended up going to Orlando, Florida for both my undergraduate and my master's degree. My undergraduate is from Rollins College in Winter Park, Florida. I majored in sociology, and I had a dance focus as well. Here's where it gets interesting. My graduate degree is from UCF, and it's in criminal justice. yeah, if you're wondering, gee, where is this going? So my graduation year was 2009. One of the worst times in American history to find work. Little did we know, right? So here's what ended up happening. Regardless of the traditional job market during that time, through the recession, even when regular work was scarce, I had steady work in the arts. And time marched on, so I would get these little projects, and I ended up getting quite a bit of marketing experience and quite a bit of customer service experience. So if we go around the image here, what we have is the film Sydney White with Amanda Bynes. I was an extra in that. I did a lot of ballroom and swing dancing. That's a competition. What you're seeing in the upper corner on the opposite side is the Maitland Art Center in Orlando, Florida, and Maitland, Florida. And I ended up working with a lot of artists, sketch artists, charcoal artists, sculptors, and doing that for modeling work. The bottom corner is this is something I never thought I'd do. It was with Topps Rip Cards. It was like a web commercial, and that was a blast. And I had a ton of fun. I knew nothing about football, but we had such a good time. And then the final image is Tim Tebow. He learned a flash mob that I choreographed. So that was also an exciting experience. So once again, I was faced with this dichotomy of having this formal degree, of having an interest in traditional work, but the arts it kept pulling me, it kept calling me. It essentially would not go away, and I realized that I had to embrace it. So this is what ended up changing the trajectory for me really intensely. This is the cast of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, put up by Theater Downtown in Orlando, Florida in 2014. So everybody in this photo is not only a gifted artist and actor, they also had split experience and made their livelihood in several different ways. This role, and there's some conflicting opinions about how this happened. I heard from a friend that they were looking to cast a model, not necessarily an actress, in the role that I got. So Frank and Fran, if you're listening, not only do I love you, you guys can go ahead and clear that up. So I met these wonderful people. I had a fantastic experience. This was not part of the Orlando Fringe Festival, but it was my first introduction to it as it went up just before. So when this was done, I had it in my head where I was like, okay, bye. Thank you, everybody. This was great. And everyone I met was like, oh, no. We've got work for you. So it's right around then I realized that I had something going that could potentially lead to more. And I'm not going in perfect chronological order, so bear with me here. There was also a rebrand in the mix. My original company was called Hardly Working Productions, but for the sake of things just making sense, we're gonna go with it this way. So my company was launched, Hardly Working Promotions, Public Relations Marketing, and Theatrical Production. So what we are is a hybrid firm, a dual concept. Hardly Working has a day job and a side hustle. The day job is marketing and PR. So if you have a new business or an existing one, and you want someone to focus on marketing exclusively, but I mean, small businesses, usually you have your niche, there aren't too many people. And what are the odds of you also having marketing or promotional experience in addition to trying to do everything you have to do for a small business? It's hard. I basically will come in and act as your marketing employee for however long you decide. If it's hourly, if it's part-time for a couple of months, if it's full-time for a couple of months, that's how that functions. If it's a new business, I help introduce you to the community. If it's an existing business, I'll evaluate the marketing, what works, what doesn't, things of that nature. The side hustle is productions and promotional things for the arts. These are my slogans, and they're pretty self-explanatory. But the crux of this is if you're doing something you love, yes, it's work, but it's extremely rewarding. And it's something that's not insurmountable, and it's something that's not impossible, and it's not something that people will say you can't do or isn't logical, because guess what? We're out there. There's a lot of people that cross talents, and there's a lot of people that cross the traditional with the non-traditional. So we're going to go back to dreams. Everyone's got one. That's why I do what I do. What gets you enthusiastic gets me enthusiastic. When I'm working with a new client and they're talking about what they love, I get all hopped up. And I am excited for you, and I want to work hard for you. My philosophy with marketing is you can have the cure for cancer. And if nobody knows about it, then it's not helping anyone. It's not serving your purpose. I give a free consultation of an hour to anyone who's interested in my services. We talk about what you do. I educate myself about what you do, and we come up with a potential plan. My goal for Aberdeen is that when I walk into a room such as 1 Million Cups or the Third Thursdays or any other type of event, that people know I'm not there to talk about me. I'm not there to talk about hardly working. I'm there to talk about the latest and greatest that Aberdeen has to offer. So I'm going to go back a little bit. This company supported me when I decided to launch my own business, and I retained them as a client once I did. They are phenomenal, and they are doing a world of good right now. So I want to give them a shout. This is a locums tenens firm. They put healthcare workers across the country. So let's show them some love because they are wonderful. They do incredible things for the community, and they supported me in my dream of following a new goal. So this is my first marketing client in Orlando, Florida. Before I get into this, I want to make one thing very clear. Hardly Working does not do websites. We don't do digital graphics. There are plenty of wonderful businesses right here in Aberdeen that do that. I'm looking forward to working with them. I'm looking forward to getting to know them. What I can do is be the dedicated body and soul for the marketing perspective of your vision. And then I release you, like a baby bird. So here's the Kitty Beautiful. And this is my first marketing client. They are in Orlando. I would love a cat cafe opening up somewhere in South Dakota. So if anyone's listening, you got the idea, go for it. This started several years ago, and their grand opening was actually this past November. So this is a continuous client that I also want to thank as part of my journey. They're a fantastic business. This is what started the ball rolling for me on the marketing side. So as a producer, and this is part of the talk that I give to my middle schoolers and my high schoolers when I do speaking engagements. As a producer for theater, you've got 3 responsibilities, broken down in faces, hands, and butts. Faces, I'm responsible for hiring smart, reliable, and talented crew. Hands, meaning local businesses putting funds towards the show that help cover expenses. They get an advertisement in the program. If I'm on any radio or TV slots, I always mention our sponsors. And butts. Same thing with marketing. If no one knows about your business, it's not going to serve the community. If no one knows that you're having a show, there won't be an audience there to share it with you. So that's what a producer means. And that wasn't clear to me until much later in life, regardless of the experience I had when I was younger doing theatrical things. And I was fortunate enough to speak at the Aberdeen Shakespeare Club recently and give a little talk there about this as well. So if anyone is interested in speaking engagements, I talk to students, to other hybrid companies, to entrepreneur groups, women's entrepreneurial groups, etc. Just let me know. So before I change slides, I'm going to take a little side and say, obviously, things in Orlando for me were going pretty well. I had something going with marketing. I had shows going, which I'll get into in a minute. But, good things take time, and great things happen all at once. In December of 2018, my now husband and I decided it was best for us to get married and to live in Aberdeen. So I thought I had another slide here. I guess not. Anyway, the wedding slide will be out shortly. We'll roll with it. So that's how I ended up in Aberdeen. We'll get back to that point. This is Shakespeare's Ghostbusters. The show went up in the Orlando Fringe Festival 2018, and we had an absolute blast doing it. I produced it, and I played the role of Slimer and a few other ghosts. And the gentleman who was our director, out of about 120 shows, won Best Director. So that was also pretty exciting. This is Shakespeare's Terminator II. This was put up in Orlando Fringe 2019 and Atlanta Fringe 2019. We have a ton of fun with these Shakespeare mashups. It was a much different show. It was a lot more drama. We got to play with swords, which was phenomenal. And again, out of about 100 shows, Pam Stone won Best Actress for her portrayal of Sarah Connor, which was also pretty exciting. So let's see what the next slide is, because you know what? My cards and my slides don't match up. So we're just gonna go with this. All right, this was done in Boston, the summer of 2018. And this show has a lot of special significance to me. It's about the thalidomide crisis of the 1960s. So once again, we got a mashup, science and art. I put this up right by my hometown, 45 minutes from my hometown, Chelmsford, Massachusetts, up to Boston. Community was super supportive. And this was originally done in Orlando, Florida, when I was acting in it. And then moving on to producing was a pretty awesome experience. This is some photos from that show. This was a talk I did in Chelmsford, Massachusetts to my high school alma mater. Here's the wedding photo. So, all right, we'll go back to that. When you make a big change like this, moving across the country, I had a couple decisions to make. I could work remotely, and I had a lot of projects that you just saw still going on the East Coast. So I thought about this for a year, almost a year, as to what I was going to do and how I was going to move forward with this being my home now, my community. I was traveling for work, I was wrapping things up, but when you think about these things, you know, you draw on your past, your growth, what was important to me 25 years ago versus now, what's going to be important to me a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Your priorities change. Your core stays the same, but your priorities fluctuate. So I'm going to see if I can get through this without crying. I'm going to try. Hopefully won't make the rest of you cry. Katie knows. So when I was thinking about starting this company, one of my friends, her son, I was trying to get him to start modeling because he was really handsome and he was athletic and he had a lot of great talents. And the reason this is one of my favorite stories and still is, when she passed this along to him, he said, "Dina doesn't know anything." And that was such a great moment in my life where I'm finally at the age where a teenager thinks I don't know anything. And I was like, this is awesome. I've only been doing this for 20 years. I've made it. A teenager thinks I'm an idiot. Yeah. So I owe him a lot for that. All three of these people are no longer with us. The story I just told is about Mason, and he died in a car accident. Alana went to Rollins with me, and she died of breast cancer. She was in her mid-30s, and Amanda went to high school with me, and she died in the Oakland fire. All these people were multi-talented. Alana was a makeup artist and an opera singer and an actress, and Amanda was an artist and a photographer and a dancer, and they're not with us anymore. So what's my excuse for not trying my best? I don't have one. All right, we're gonna pull together. This image is my home office. It's my pride and joy. I love this space. Everything in here is because I put it in here. I didn't have to leave this room if I didn't want to in order to work. And this was my mindset before the quarantine. It's really different now. Then I thought about it, and I thought about my friends I lost. And I was thinking, am I gonna go from someone who did any kind of bold art that came their way to someone who's afraid to leave their house? I don't think so. This isn't my house. This was actually taken in the UK. It was part of a project that is probably not going to go anywhere because of everything that's transpired, but so a lot of the stately homes in the UK are part of the Royal Trust. So I was shooting there, and I ended up coming back 2 days early in order to get back in town safely. So here's what happened after all that went down. I finished my rebrand. I started working on my website. I started thinking about what I really wanted. So business owners have a lot of accountability. I mean, we pay for things we don't break. We apologize for things we didn't say. We make up for things we didn't do. But it's all worth it. And it gets back to dreaming. They evolve, they change and grow. My personal motto is, can others live a full life without doing any of the things that are important to them? To me, I mean, absolutely. Others can live a full life without doing the things that are important to me. Can I live a full life without doing the things that are important to others? No way. So that's another big reason that I do what I do. I see your vision, I hear you. Maybe it's not my thing, but you've got a lot to give. So my business motto is show up, follow through, show gratitude. And I realized I wasn't alone here. I had spent about 3 months in Aberdeen prior to moving here a couple of years ago. And I got to work with what's now Conklin Clinics. They went through a rebrand as well. I got to work with Total Package Med Spa, helping them with their marketing, which was a great honor. So I really wasn't all alone here in Aberdeen. And the other really big thing about Aberdeen is my fear is that everyone's already got their thing going on and that there's no room for me. I was half right. Everyone has wonderful things going on. That did not mean that there was no place for me, not even close. So I started getting involved. I also want to say how impressed I am with Aberdeen. The community invests in itself. My time with Conklin Clinics was only about 3.5 years ago. And since then, the Boys and Girls Club, the library, Safe Harbor, that's incredible. I think it's wonderful how many things have come out of this community. So I started getting involved. The Mainframe was my first Aberdeen client. And here's the mug they made me. I had a ton of fun with them. Oh, by the way, there's oil room juice in here too. So yay, Aberdeen small businesses. I got to be involved in a My Place Hotels commercial, which was super exciting. This is the Presentation College Black and White Ball. And my company was part of a live auction item called Steal the Spotlight, which brought 5 Aberdeen businesses together. So that was super exciting. This would have been the first thing I was cast in locally, the ACT production of Love, Loss, and What I Wore. Postponed doesn't mean cancel. They're hoping to do it another time. This was supposed to be the 3rd installment of the Shakespeare mashups in Orlando. The Fringe itself was canceled. Please watch my social media space for how this is going to go in the future. During my downtime, I got on TikTok and no one told me I can't stop. So follow us on TikTok. You make time where you can when things are at a standstill. Joni Larson was kind enough to include me in her porch portraits. I was calling them drive-by shootings and that wasn't right. And I got to spend some quality time during the Easter egg hunt with a socially distant Easter bunny. And it made a lot of little tykes really happy. Another new client is, I tried not to murder her last name, Designs de Villiers. I think I got it right. Amazing place right 12 miles outside of Aberdeen, outside of the city center. This information is up on my website along with the virtual tour. Great company, great people. I'm thrilled to be working with them. And things go on. Life goes on during this. I was still featured in Aberdeen Magazine. I'm really grateful for that. I was still featured in Aberdeen American News. Also grateful for that. So here's looking to the future. The Minnesota Fringe was canceled for this August. However, they are holding their slots for those who decide to keep them, which I have, for August 2021. So that'll be in Minneapolis. And this is actually a piece that I wrote that I'll be producing and casting locally. So that's it. Basically, if you have a vision and want to move forward with it, I would be honored to be a part of it. Just if anyone has any questions, let me know.
So Dina, your story strikes me as, I'm gonna put this down here. Here we go. it shows especially the power of being able to just pivot and kind of figure it out. Like your story strikes me as you kind of just find your niche and get in there. And then once you're settled in, just really make it your own. You talked a little bit about, finding this sort of non-traditional path. What's it like to kind of see that come to fruition now?
It's a lot. Okay, let me see how I can formulate that. First of all, thank you. I appreciate you recognizing my journey with this. It's pivoting, but it's also just keeping your eyes and ears open. You want to remain true to what you want and need, but you also want to be open to what's realistic, to what's out there, to how you can fit in. And the wonderful news is it's much broader than you think it is. So it's gratifying to see this has come as far as it has. And I'm also loving seeing, again, however many years later, since I graduated high school and realized certain paths weren't for me, that I'm not alone. There's lots of people that do this. Just out there, those of you watching, how many of you have multiple interests, multiple talents? Probably most of you. And we're out there and we're going to help each other.
Yeah. Dina, I love how you've taken this multifaceted, your multifaceted interests and talents and really found, like Brody said, your niche. But you work with a very diverse grommet of clients, and you talked a little bit about educating yourself. How do you can you give us a little insight into that process? I mean, you are working with a very broad range. How do you, if you get a brand new client, how do you go about educating yourself to their market?
The very first thing I do is I listen to their journey. What's not more important than what they do, but equally important, why they do it. So that's number one. I sit down with a new client and I say, what brought you here? And what do you want to see happen? Mm-hmm. If I'm hired at that point, I take a decent amount of time to learn about the business itself and to get some marketing perspective on how to make it work. And the evaluation on my part with that, a big part of that is where they're located and how the community typically responds to something similar and how to put it forward in a way that people are going to respond to and start recognizing and start wanting to be part of.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing.
What you mentioned, I love this idea of having your business, but then the business has a side hustle. Like in this time where we're supposed to be hyper focused on what our mission is and all this stuff, but then to be able to say, you know what, we also dabble in this. And so talk about, keeping your vision of who you are and what you do while still having kind of these other things that you do.
You deal with some flack, and I've gotten my share of it with, number one, the name of the business, for it's a take on the old dad joke. So are you working hard? Are you hardly working? And everybody kind of grimaces, but they also kind of like it. So the other share of shade I got was, oh, so you're running Dina's Tires and Donuts. You got to roll with it. Typically I just laugh and say, sure, because both those things are functional and make people really happy. So there you go. By the way, if you were at a tire shop and they happen to be selling donuts, would you buy them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you would.
I'm never turning down a donut personally.
And speaking of donuts, This Friday is Safe Harbor's Donut Day, is it not, at Kessler's? So that is a great segue that I meant to say earlier in the broadcast. But go get your donuts at Kessler's, and half of the proceeds go to Safe Harbor this Friday. So
perfect.
So there you go. I'm sorry.
No, I love it.
Needed to say that. I think we hear over and over and over again that people can do whatever they want to do in Aberdeen. So talk about coming here and seeing that you can. That the town was accepting, that you're able to kind of jump right in and be who you want to be.
So I was thinking about the time that I let go by with when I moved here versus when I started actively getting involved, but that's not accurate. I want to show myself a little grace and say I had several shows and clients in the Eastern area that I still was attending to, regardless of my marriage and my move. So I began a transition. And with that, I was delighted that regardless of the town and anything else, people wanted to get to know me as a person before anything that was extended from that. And then there was an interest in my company. And then there was an interest in my family and my personal well-being. So it all had a really nice arc to it. But the big thing I want to drive home is when I said I was new here, one word resonated each and every time: welcome. Every single time, every single person. And you do have to put yourself out there. I mean, I feel like I used to say in college, I went to Rollins was a small liberal arts school, that you think you know everybody, but 10% of the people do 100% of the activities. And I'm wondering if it's a little similar with the people that are active in Aberdeen. So I feel like I'm meeting everybody, which is a wonderful feeling. But there are plenty of people who are just out there in the community, and they're still friendly faces, and I still meet them at the grocery store and when I'm out and about. So the overall friendliness was a big help to me. Things like 1 million cups were a really big help to me, where I was just kind of dipping my feet in the overall community and feeling it out. And everything I got back was welcoming and opening. So it really encouraged me to start moving forward with putting myself out there and putting out there what I can do to help other businesses here, because I'm so impressed with all the new businesses that happen. All that, you have something every week, a new business. This is wonderful.
Well,
this is fantastic.
Aberdeen, the place to be. Hey, Dina, you are getting lots and lots of love on our Facebook feed. But we have a question.
Okay.
Danny would like to know what will be Aberdeen's first Shakespeare mashup?
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's a fantastic question. So I'm not at liberty to say details yet, but I have had a couple of discussions with local theater people. That's as detailed as I can get. And a Shakespeare mashup hasn't been ruled out, but we are feeling out how well it would do here, how well received it would be here. So the three that I've done previously were written by other people. We are working on a fourth one that's written by my staff, and there are others that are out there. One is called Get Thee Back to the Future. So what I might do is begin online polls about what people would like to see and the genre of Shakespeare that people would like to see, because there's a couple. There's comedy, there's tragedy, there's history. So if I get enough positive feedback, then yes, absolutely, we will do it, and we will see what the community wants to see and wants to be involved in.
Very exciting. That is just, can't wait. You're such an asset to our community, Dina, like especially with the Northern. I mean, Northern has a fantastic theater program, but you are just going to be such an ally and an asset to so many avenues here. And okay, so you said something else in your presentation that I really liked. I took notes. It was this good. You mentioned hybrid company. So very clearly, Hardly Working is diverse, and but like, so we're in an elevator together. What is your 2-minute elevator pitch to me if I say, so what do you do for work?
My pitch is the side hustle day job thing, which is I help businesses with either their startup marketing or their boost marketing. I also produce theatrical shows.
Oh, that was way more concise than I thought.
It's succinct. It usually opens more questions than answers, but that's my elevator pitch.
Hey, but that's a solid marketing ploy right there. It opens up to far more questions. Look at this. Your expertise is already showing.
Oh, thanks.
So as we sort of wind down here, Dina, what I guess I won't ask our last question yet, but where do you want to go? I mean, it's very obvious you have all kinds of plans and schemes and things you can't announce yet and whatever, but what's the next 3 to 5 years look like for Hardly Working?
Okay, so first things first, if people out there have
okay, let me tell you about my
all right, we got this.
I love it.
So if you're out there and you're listening and you either have an existing business that you feel may be in a plateau, or you have a new business that you're just starting or a new business idea, please contact me for a free consultation. We will start talking about it, we'll start spitballing, and we'll figure out if working together is best for you. So that's first. The Minnesota Fringe is 1 year from now, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to Love, Loss, and What I Wore being rescheduled. These things, I mean, I have a plan, but we are in a funky time right now. So I think my plan is to keep my eyes and ears open and roll with what I can. Also, the theater scene is changing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's going to change permanently in a lot of ways, or if some of this is temporary. But right now, having in-person theater is not a thing. So I'm assuming that right now the focus will be marketing. And I don't want to take the leap of saying no one's starting new businesses in a time like this, because I don't believe that's true. No. So the goal for the next foreseeable future will be to continue the projects I'm able to roll with things, and please come at me with my free consultation hour.
That is fantastic. And so I'll go ahead and close this out, Brody, and steal Brody's question. Please. What can we as a community do to help you and Hardly Working?
Oh, gosh. Let me think about it. I need a moment to think. You know, it's just keep doing what you're doing, even though we're dealing with times where we can't be together and embrace and see each other in the community. Things like this that are bringing us together virtually. Just keep hope alive, keep this up. Don't lose heart that your vision isn't going to happen because of what's going on. So the only statement I would make as far as help is, if you hear something or you know someone that says, gee, I'm thinking about starting this, or I don't know if the word's getting out there for my company, you remember this, then send my information their way, or send them to my website, hardlyworkingpromotions.com.
Wonderful. Perfect. Well, thank you, Dina, so much for being with us today. We will let you get on with what I'm sure will be another busy day for you. But thank you so much for joining us at 1 Million Cups, and we will we hope to see you back at our live events.
I'll be back. Thank you.
We love breaking news to the community, Dina. So whenever you're ready to make those announcements, you just let us know.
Okay, absolutely. I will. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Katie, that takes us through another hour of the 1 Million Cup show here in Aberdeen. We laughed, we cried. I thought it was great. I enjoyed myself immensely.
I love it.
So I guess this is normally the time that I say, Katie, who's next? And we're still kind of working that out. But to the point made earlier, if you have a business that you would like to have an entire hour to spotlight, tell us the story of who you are, why you do what you do, where you are now, and where you want to go, please reach out to us at 1 Million Cups Aberdeen on the Facebook, and we'll get you set up. I know that we do, so we're working on Nic and Nicole Fisher, local artists. You've seen their art all over. I was out at Lake Pickerel this last weekend, and of course, when driving through Waubay, you have to stop at the Purple Cow. And so I talked with Mary Jorgensen out there, also of Jorgensen Meat Locker. So we'd like to have her on soon. But if you know a business, you can say, hey, we'd like to hear from this person, and then we can reach out to them as well. So this is a really
and if you have questions, please feel free to just message the Facebook page. There's a wide array of people who you can chat with on there, Brody and myself being two of them. But we're happy to answer any questions you may have. Or again, if you'd like to volunteer your friends and shoot us some names of somebody you'd like to hear from, we will gladly contact them.
I think it'd be a wonderful time to hear more about the Skeeter Defeater.
I know.
Justin will be back. I will make sure of that. So, all right. Well, on that note, congratulations to Justin and Tiffany. Congratulations to us having new and rotating city council people. I think that is a really great thing here in this.
I love that we can say council people.
Yep. It's a good time to be back on the council. So, all right. Anything else, Katie, for the good of the order?
That's all I've got.
All I got.
All right. Make it a
Happy
great
Wednesday,
everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye.